Hey, what is up YouTube? Today's video is a little bit different than any of the videos that I've previously done. Over the years, there has been lots of speculation or people talking about the fact that maybe King Ren was not Anduin's real father. Some of the speculation was that Arthas could have actually been Anduin's real father due to some of the similarities in them. Now, Blizzard has never said anything about this. They've never really put them in too many places at one time, other than one, which I'll talk about later in the video. Now, in the last, I would say, 6 months to a year, from the time Legion has come out, there has been quite a few things that have added to the fuel of this, where you can kind of logically put this stuff together a little bit easier, and actually start seeing the connections between Anduin and Arthas. Now, I'm going to go back very, very far, and I am going to put one of the earliest connections together, at least that I found and that people online have found. In the Warcraft novel, Rise of the Lich King, there was a portion of the book where it made a comment or a reference that Arthas made a visit to Stormwind soon after Anduin was born. Arthas almost immediately went to visiting Queen Tiffin and newborn Anduin, and it seemed as if they were rather well acquainted, that they were very friendly, and that he was very friendly with the baby boy. Now, that can go in conjunction with some of the rumors over the years that she had an affair with Arthas while the king was away. And this is just the first big step, as far as connecting all these pieces together. Now, logically, we can see lots of reasons why this would have been covered up. For once, it's an affair between royal houses. It's not something that would really come out at all. And even if they had considered telling the truth at some point, once Arthas went down his path of destruction to ultimately become the Lich King, that would have been another reason why no one would have ever said anything. So then you have the king's disappearance, and Anduin is being raised alone. So of course, the Black Dragons try to get in close to him. Now, if the Black Dragons had any thought that he was the son of someone as powerful as Arthas, you could see how they could potentially think they could later on down the road use this to their advantage. Now, as a sidebar to this, keep in mind the other person that was watching over him during this time, and it was Bolvar 4 Dragon, who happens to be also another paladin, and also the current Lich King who took the place for Arthas. Now, over time, when we do see the king, we realize there is really nothing at all that ties these two together, other than the fact that they tell us they are father and son. They look nothing alike. Their personalities are very different. Now, as we move forward, we see Anduin is training as a priest. He's training in the ways of the Holy Light. So we know that he's in touch with the Holy Light, which also Arthas was, because he was a very powerful paladin, which is something I'm guessing in the Warcraft lore probably runs through families, just like anything else. So as Anduin grows up, we know he's getting stronger and stronger in the ways of the Holy Light. So right before Legion is released, Blizzard puts out a comic. And in this comic, we see kind of some aftermath, in the future of what Anduin's going to do. And we see him face off against a demon. And during this face-off, he uses an ability that everyone knows is a paladin ability, and that is Hammer of Wrath. He uses this Holy Light ability to create this Hammer of Wrath, and he strikes down this demon. So in Warcraft lore, the Hammer of Wrath is a commonly known paladin ability. So all these years that Anduin is supposedly practicing as a priest, we now see him destroy a demon with a known paladin ability. Now, keep in mind, this comic is, I think it was set 50 years in the future, and he's considered the high commander of the Army of Light, which is an army of paladins, for the most part. Now, going forward a little bit more, we get into the raid, the Emerald Nightmare, and we fight the boss, Iligoth, which has a bunch of different whispers. And one of the whispers that comes from him is, "The boy king serves at the master's table. 3 lies will he offer to you," or something of that nature. Now, one of those lies could quite possibly be the lie of who his father is. At this point, he may have finally realized who his father was. He may have been told by somebody, or he's just figured it out on his own. Now, one person that is still around all of this that would potentially have known who his real father was is Jaina Proudmoore. So she is somebody who could have absolutely told him, because she was someone who was also kind of watching over him and very close to him up until this expansion where she disappeared. So moving forward a little bit farther, we get to BlizzCon 2017, and then we see this new cinematic of the Alliance versus the Horde. And the Alliance is sieging Lordaeron, which happens to be the previous home of Arthas. You know, it's kind of ironic that he is now trying to capture the home of Arthas, you know, where he would have been king, where he was prince. So we see Anduin in his full suit of armor, his long flowing blonde hair, fighting. And then when the tides turn and he's physically having some issues fighting, what does he do? He drops his weapon, which, let me remind you, is not just any weapon, but his supposed real father, Varian Wren's sword. And he reaches to the sky and he pulls down the light. And look what looks like a paladin bubble, a big, huge paladin bubble. And then the holy light starts healing and reviving all of his fallen allies. And as you see this, you realize it's one of the biggest displays of holy power that we as players have seen in the world of Warcraft. Not only that, you see the camera pan back to the Horde, where you can see them in awe, and then you see Sylvanas and the look on her face as she realizes just how powerful Anduin really is. And it makes you wonder if she's putting the connection herself together, that he has the power of Arthas, who is the reason she is in the position she is. He's the one who made her. And then you see the sneer on her face as she goes back in for the attack. So one of the last things I am going to touch on, I actually found on Reddit. It was a post made by the user MacroPony probably about a year ago, in which he makes some comparisons between the two, where he had noticed that there were some similarities in Anduin's theme song for Legion, as well as the theme song Invincible for Arthas, in which they both share a lyric, and Karanir Thanagor, which translates into "Long live the king." Now, the other connection that he made is that in the Wrath of the Lich King, the cinematic started with the words "my son," and it was King Terenas speaking to his son Arthas for the entirety of the cinematic. And then the Legion cinematic begins with the words "my son," and has King Varian speaking to his son in the form of a letter. While this could be taken many different ways, one could also be a nod to the other. Now, before I end this video, I just want to say that every bit of this is just speculation, conspiracy theory, you know, stuff that we can have fun with, since there has been absolutely no proof of any of this but speculation. However, it would be fun if one day we can look back at all of this and realize that somewhere it has come true, where Blizzard has said that this is absolutely the case. So I hope anyone still listening enjoyed the video, and if you'd like to hear more like this or see more things done like this, please let me know in the comment section below. If you like the video, please like and subscribe. If not, you can hit that other one. Until next time.